Good morning and welcome to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning is on the arts. The Milwaukee Repertory Theater ignites positive change in the cultural, social, and economic vitality of our community. They're in their 63rd season, and the Milwaukee Rep is dedicated to providing the highest level of professional theater to Milwaukee and Wisconsin, in addition to offering a wide range of educational and community programs. One of the outstanding shows that you can look forward to is Lady Day at EMERSON'S Bar and Grill. It's playing now through October 30th in the Stackner Cabaret at the Milwaukee Rep. And my first guest is the star of the show, Alexis J. Roston, who plays the role of the famous Billie Holiday, also known as Lady Day. How are you, Alexis?
I'm excellent. Thank you for asking.
Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come here today. We are so privileged to have you come and talk about your performance of the late, great Billie Holiday. I have seen the performance, and I guess if I had to sum it all up in one word, I would say phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So I think we should start off talking about what step one has to take in order to take on the role of a woman who's considered to be one of the greatest jazz blues vocalists of all time. Also, she had so much talent, but yet experienced so much pain in her 44 years on earth. What does it take to do this role?
Lots of research, lots of understanding, lots of relating. Figuring out what was the socioeconomic climate at the time, what was she experiencing. You know, there's so many elements of trying to prepare for this role. One, I am musically inclined, of course, so just sitting, listening to her music, I probably closed myself in with her music for about a good 2 weeks.
Wow.
Just, you know, overdosing, for lack of better words, on this music, not even for lyrics' sake, more so for feel's sake. There was an energy to her sound that people always spoke about, how you could hear her heart in everything she did. So I needed to just sit with that iconic music, that iconic sound, and soak it all in first, just to get a feel of who she was.
Yeah, mission accomplished, because I mean there's certain words and pauses and riffs and things of that nature. You hit them dead on the head.
Thank
and
you.
So I say to anyone who has been a fan, or if they don't even know anything about Billie Holiday, this is their chance to learn a little bit more about the woman and her music. So with this whole particular performance, Lady Day at the Emerson Bar and Grill, set in the 1950s in the city of brotherly love, what made this particular performance that is being replicated, what made it so special?
It's noted by this author as being based on her last performance before she actually passed 4 months later.
Wow.
So it's a big deal in that you get to see over the course of the night her just open up to this audience and share with them parts of herself that she probably would never have even done, you know? She's at a place in her career where she's experienced so much, she's become numb to it. And to release like this is more for her than it is even for the audience.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the production, because there's so many things that stood out to me as being a member of the audience. So I'll do my best not to give away too much to those who have not seen the show yet. Absolutely. But I did want to give the viewers at home a chance to know more about Alexis J. Roston. So you are a native of Chicago.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm interested in knowing, when did you realize that you were good at singing and acting?
Oh, wow. I'm still figuring it out right now today. I don't know if I've even really realized
Get
it.
out of here.
Honestly, you know, people say things, you're like, I'm always, don't believe what you hear. But I knew when my mom used to talk about when I was born, I came out singing, you know, and she said, you know, the doctor spanked me on the butt and said it was a girl, and I was already hollering, you know, stuff like that. But I just remember an instance when I was younger. My mom was a teacher, and they had a showcase at her school, and I couldn't have been any more than, maybe 7 or 8, and I stood on the stage and sung Home
by Stephanie Mills,
who is who I was called all the time as a kid.
I was gonna say, can I just say, because of your statue and your voice, I wanted to compare you to Stephanie Mills off the bat.
All my life.
You're what, like 4'11"?
4'10" and a half.
4'10" and a half, my goodness. So little lady, big voice, and just like Stephanie Mills, you've made your way to Broadway. And is this somebody that you maybe compare yourself to in ways?
Okay, so, you know, I actually got a chance to work with her.
Okay.
You know. She was doing a show called His Woman, His Wife, and I was on tour with that show with her. I was her understudy.
Okay. Wow, imagine that.
I know, right? Go figure. And I told her when I met, I said, you know, I've been called Little Stephanie Mills all my life. And she just giggled. She thought that was hilarious. And
then she heard you sing.
I mean, she heard me a little bit, but it's so funny because her voice is so powerful that there were times where we'd be singing the backgrounds for her songs, and then all of a sudden you wouldn't hear anything because we're just in so much awe of this voice. She was amazing. But I sung a song of hers when I was, you know, a little tyke, and I just remember people throwing money on the stage. You know? I was like, I racked up that night, you know, and I was like 7 or 8, and it was, you know, a moment I will never forget. But at that age, I knew I must have something special,
right?
And my mom had the sense to put me in all things musical, theatrical, dance-wise,
modeling.
Modeling. I was a professional model at the age of 9.
Unbelievable. Anything you haven't done?
Plenty. Plenty. I mean, I got a long bucket list, Jeff.
You do. Give me one thing off that bucket list.
Oh, I haven't traveled enough. I haven't seen enough of this world. So traveling is a big to-do for me.
Okay, so when you get that moment, because when you are acting and a part of shows, that's months at a time,
yes,
and you're in cities for a duration of time, where would you like to go first, you and your husband?
Oh, we would love to go to like Rome.
Okay.
You know, I've been to London and Paris, and that was the next, Rome was the next one on the list of things to do. So I think that when we have our first anniversary, we'll probably take a trip.
Okay, well, I'll send all of the shoe stores an email letting them know you're coming.
I'm good at shoes.
Your shoe game is always on point.
I got it from my mama. I got it real
That's something
honest.
You can make happen.
Oh,
so
yeah.
take the time, make it happen
will.
for sure. Yeah. So you obtained your BFA in musical theater at Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Yes, ma'am.
And you actually, we've had conversations before, and you were saying that there was a professor there that really helped push you and give you that confidence to make it in this business.
Yes, the late great Mike Malone. I feel like he believed in me more than I believed in myself, and you need that sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
You know, I knew I was talented. You know what I mean? But then you have those people in your life that they give you this kind of energy that can come off sometimes as tough love. You know, but it's love nonetheless. And so that was Mike Malone for me. I called him Pop Pop. He was like my father. You know, my father actually passed while I was in college. Wow. You know, like a week before my college graduation. And Pop Pop was just, he had always been that driving force for me. You know, I didn't always like the way he said it. You know, he dished it out so hard sometimes. Like,
but you're a little firecracker too.
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly. And I got tough skin, so you know what I'm saying? So it works out.
Yeah, and you need that person when you go away to college, somebody that really has your back.
Yeah.
And for somebody to understand and recognize your talent and help you in that way is awesome. So you were at the Rep for The Color Purple the last time you were here, and you've also done a lot of other great performances. Dreamgirls, Ain't Misbehaving. One that I bet was just amazing was Don't Make Me Over, which was a tribute to Dionne Warwick.
Yes.
Can't imagine how that was.
Oh, you know what? I've done it twice.
Okay.
So Jackie Taylor, the founder of Black Ensemble Theater in Chicago, produced the show 10 years ago.
Okay.
And at the time, I was playing Dionne number 3 because she has stages of Dionne's life,
Okay.
you know. And it was awesome. You know, Dionne Warwick came and she thought it was phenomenal, and you know, it was just a tribute to her that honored all of her career. It was just great. And so when Jackie decided she wanted to do her 40th year anniversary, all her hits, that was one of the shows that was a hit for her. So she asked me probably almost a year in advance to do the show, and I was like, yeah.
I got that.
Do you know when it came back around, I was no longer Dionne number 3, I was Miss Divine. Okay? Miss Divine is the narrator of the story.
Okay.
She's on the stage like the whole time, you know, and she has all this singing and all these monologues. I said, oh no. I didn't even find out until like a month before rehearsal that was who I was playing.
That you were switching up the script.
I thought I was gonna come in and sing my couple songs and be through.
She was probably
Man.
really happy when you said, yeah, sure, no problem.
It was a success, and I am nominated for another award based off of playing Miss Divine.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You go, girl. And what I wanted to know is really when it comes to auditioning for parts, how do you know when a part is for you?
I am still figuring that thing out. But there are, if it's, okay, so for this role, it's easy because you know the legend, you know the icon. Other roles, you got to do your research. You got to find out, is there integrity in this piece? Are you third girl from the left? You know, it's real.
Is it a waste of your time?
Yeah, because I'm not just starting out in this business. So, you know, when you're just starting out, you want to
do what you got to do to get recognized
you get it
in
all,
the space, right?
You know, but yeah, I am getting to a point in my career where I can choose, and life is treating me in such a way that I am learning I have to take time for myself.
And go to Rome.
And go to Rome.
Right.
I'm newly married, and I had a situation recently where I chose to work when I should have been relaxing, and I kicked myself all day about that, you know, and so I am getting to a space where I can pick and choose who I want to be, how I want to be, where, when, and all of that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And when you put in the time and the effort, you can say, it would be ludicrous to think I'm new to this.
I like
That's what I tell people all the time.
I'm taking it. I'm going to say that. Watch.
So basically what we're going to do, you don't perform on the stage alone. You have one of my, I like to call him my really good friend. I just love his talented behind. He's going to be joining us on the set for the second segment. He's been here before, and he is the music director of Lady Day, and he also plays the role of Jimmy Powers, right?
Yes. Yes, he
Okay,
does.
I am going to... To a T. And I want to find out more about Jimmy Powers because he seemed like he was a man of few words. So you guys are going to have to explain all of this to us. So we will definitely come back and reintroduce everybody to Abdul Hamid Royal, right?
Yes.
All right. When we return to Our Issues Milwaukee, we'll continue our conversation with Alexis J. Roston, who plays the role of Billie Holiday in Lady Day at the Emerson Bar and Grill, and we'll be joined by Broadway performer and Milwaukee native Abdul Hamid Royal, who is the music director of Lady Day, and as I said, he plays the role of Jimmy Powers. We'll do that right after this.